Welcome to Sober Shenanigans. Real talk and real recovery, sharing stories, old and new, trying to stay on the right path and help others just like you. So feel our flow and get on with the show. Here's your hosts, Stoff and Primo. Yeah, welcome to Sober Shenanigans. Real talk and real recovery. We're just two garden variety alcoholics trying to get better every day and remind our listeners out there that you are not alone. We're here with you. I'm your host, Stoff, and as usual, I'm here with my main man, 100 Grand Primo. What's going on, Primo?
Dude, Merry Christmas, man. What a week.
Merry Christmas, yes.
A week. 3 years, celebrated 3 years, my man, Stoff over here.
Nice.
I did.
Killing it.
I did.
We got a young man over here, Connor, coming into the show. Really stoked about this week. And I don't know why I'm using the word stoked now that I've met the Flute Lou.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use stoked a little bit more often. No, man, this is a great time of the year for recovery and to apply the tools that we learn in here and to be of maximum service to other people. And I just love it. I got a big crew coming over for dinner. I've been doing some grocery shopping. I'm getting fired up, man. I love it. I do love it.
Nice. I know you are the chef. You love to cook for whatever reason it takes. You're in for it, which is awesome.
Right on.
That is an awesome way of service. So today we do have with us Connor the kid on Christmas. Connor, how you doing today?
Good, guys. How are you guys?
Good, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, Connor, give us a little background on yourself. Where'd you come from? If you want to say your sobriety date, you can say that. What got you into the program? Whatever you'd like to say just to kind of intro yourself.
Yeah, well, the first thing is I'm looking at this photo of you guys, and I've seen it on Facebook so many times, but I was like, who the hell are those two guys? I've never seen Cheeto Santino in Tampa before, and whoever that guy is, but kind of makes sense now. Yeah,
who's Cheeto Santino?
He's a ginger comedian guy.
No shit. He is a true
out
ginger.
With, Bobby Lee.
Oh, okay.
You seen him?
No, I know Bobby Lee, yeah. I haven't seen Cheeto Santino, though.
He looks just like the AI photo
version of
you.
me?
Yeah.
Dude, you don't color.
funny.
You don't do any coloring, do you?
No. That's why the whole beard is gray.
That's
otherwise. Yeah.
We're getting a call.
Oh, we got a call in from my son. Somehow, I love him.
Nice, Luke.
Yeah.
To call it another time. We're on the air. We're in the middle of a show.
Is that what that was on the phone?
Yeah, that was my son.
Yeah.
He's gonna call back too.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna text him somehow, but we'll work it out.
So you guys were asking about my background?
Yep. Absolutely.
Like how I got sober?
Yep.
Yeah.
From the jump?
How long have you been sober?
4 years.
4 years. What is your sobriety date?
It's September 7th of 21.
Nice. September 7th of 21. Okay. And so just your background, where are you from? I know are you from Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I'm from the Alpharetta, Milton area. It's probably Atlanta's biggest suburb. One of them.
Is that Canton's in that area, right?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Canton is north
of Atlanta, yeah.
like real north.
Yeah.
It might be south, could be north, could be west, could be east. I have no fucking idea. It's probably an hour away.
Sweet.
In one direction or the other.
Yeah, they got accents there, though. I know that.
Yeah, well, your compass is going to get improved the longer you stay sober. I can see that.
Yeah. I'm good with Tampa.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right, well, that's a good segue. So tell us about your life in Atlanta and what brought you to Tampa.
Yeah, so my grandparents lived in Clearwater Beach they would travel and cruise, and they were retired, but they had a place right there in San Key, and so we grew up coming here for vacations, and just was looking to get out of Atlanta, and so I moved, went to college at University of Tampa, and felt like it was a good segue, like to come down here and, be closer with my grandparents, be farther away from home, and felt like Tampa was a perfect spot for it. I was actually looking at USF versus Tampa, and Tampa just made more sense for college.
Now, you just mentioned being further away from home. So on the show, we've had quite a few guests who have moved in an attempt to get away from their past life and the drugs and alcohol. Was that what you mean by that?
No. I just grew up in a alcoholic household.
Okay.
Love my family today, but growing up, things were pretty weird. Like, we grew up in a big house, gated neighborhood. Had a lot of privileges, had a lot of luxuries, but just living at home wasn't splendid.
Yeah.
So, luckily, like, my family relationship today is great. I feel like I have a real family, but it was bad before I came to college. So I was trying to get out as soon as possible, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's totally understandable. A lot of people we've had on the show have done that, especially at that young age. You're like, man, if I can get out of here and go to college and kind of get away from this situation, it'll probably be better for me.
Yeah, but it's not like it was like drugs or alcohol that was like limiting me in any way. Back home, I was just trying to escape and actually, got really carried away when I got down here.
Really?
Yeah, so like I don't think I would have changed, anything would have changed, if I was in Georgia or Florida. I don't think it really would have mattered. I think it's just, I was looking for an excuse to leave and then found that excuse and then just, got carried away. Bad.
And the excuse was going to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, you know what? That happens to a lot of people, man. Once they get that freedom away from any kind of structure, I'm noticing that happening with my son just a little bit. I'm hoping that the genetics aren't too close between his mother and me. I think we could have genetically modified like the Antichrist. You know what I mean? Between the two of us, because we were both in the program, and she had a lot of problems that were different than mine, but combined, it would have been like the perfect addict alcoholic, genetically. But
you're sober.
But we are sober. But he, however, is in college, experiencing freedom, and he's, not an alcoholic yet. Potentially, I guess the potential is there, but he still can drink, and he does.
Yeah.
And so my eye is on him. But I think that happens because he's in a fraternity, so I spent a lot of time around college kids these last couple of years, and yeah, man, they're knocking them down just like we were when I was drinking. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But they're actually getting a little bit wilder because I can see they're free.
Yeah.
Like that. That's a big thing. Were you in a fraternity at all?
No fraternity.
Okay. You sort of a lone wolf, or were you a part? Yeah.
That explains it pretty well.
Okay.
I was like a lone wolf, had different friends for different things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd have like the daytime friends and the nighttime friends, and then the people that no one knew I was talking to.
See, there's many layers to Connor, isn't there?
I was layered, yeah.
That's
I
cool.
was layered.
Yeah. Deep.
Yeah, so tell us about first coming to Tampa and some of that your early times at school. And if you want to, then you can kind of roll into, what it is that made you decide to stop that life.
Yeah. I think I was pretty normal when I came down to college. I liked drinking. I liked, smoking pot. But it was all pretty normal. And then I came down here and, was lifting weights, talking to girls, building friendships, and things were really good for like 2 months. And then I broke my ankle really bad and had like catastrophic ankle surgery. And, in the meantime, I'm drinking, I'm broke, typical college kid shit. And, after that, I was like, well, my life is over. You know what I mean? I've got this leg I can't even walk on for 4 months. Had to do physical therapy for that. And then that took forever. And I was like, limping everywhere.
How did you break your leg?
Skateboarding.
So it wasn't drinking?
I was drinking.
Okay.
On the skateboard.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you get is there like an SUI or something you can get skateboarding under the influence?
I don't think so.
Did you create a new law to break?
There was a campus safety police, like the resource officers or whatever on the school campus. And they were like, man, are you drunk? You sure think you sure seem to think this is funny for someone who's 18. And I was like, dude, like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And then he was like, oh, I guess you're right.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I was in sales from the jump, dude.
Yeah, you were. Changing
That's
his
great.
mind right away.
Total skateboarder answer, too. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Yeah, you fucking pig.
Yeah.
Turned it right around on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Authority. Who needs authority?
I forgot where I was going, but basically, like...
Were you at UT for 4 years, or how many years?
4 years, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's where my son's going, actually. So.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was already there.
Yeah. He is
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good school. I just didn't apply myself at all.
But look at you now.
Look at me now.
Yeah, so go ahead. So go back. So you're in college and you broke your ankle and you're laid up, and so you're partying, you're drinking, you're like, oh, life's over. So you start hitting it hard, I guess.
Yeah, hitting it hard. Luckily, like, I still had friends, but you know, it just got out of hand really fast, and I started having a lot of these dark thoughts of like, man, my life is never going to be the same, never going to be able to run again. You know, now I'm all weak, and just really bad pain too, like coming up from the ankle to the hip to the shoulder to the neck.
Oh.
And was kind of walking funny like this, and yeah, so I was just like really in my head about myself and very insecure, and a lot of that led to like compounded drinking over time. And then, but at the same time, like, I liked it, you know.
Yeah.
I was having fun, I was partying, but it's not like I had this like split life between like goals and ambitions and drinking. It was pretty much all drinking and partying after that. So I
Gotcha.
took a big like ego and insecurity hit after that.
Yeah. So you went through 4 years of school. I'm guessing you maybe didn't graduate. You just kind of partied.
No,
or...
I graduated.
Oh, good for you.
Um,
Nice.
It's funny when I was
You pulled it out.
I graduated, and then I was living with my grandpa for 3 months over in San Key.
San Key, nice.
Yeah, and you know, just was super enabled. They like cleared out this whole guest room for me after college, and I had a cat, and I had a comforter that was like really trippy and red and blue and green. And meanwhile, my grandparents' condo was like super old timer, like 80s style, maybe 90s style. And you know, then there's my room, and there's beer bottles all over the floor, and you know, just obsessed with anything trippy. And you know, looking back on it, I'm like, I just can't believe that like that was my life. After graduation, didn't do anything, didn't get a job, was waking up with the shakes every day. My grandpa was like, did you get a job yet? No, I didn't get a job yet. And I'm trying, Pops, and never actually like did anything.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that, but
Well, grandparents can be a great enablers. You know what I mean? Because
super good.
Yeah, because it's like a whole new set of people you get to pull some bullshit on. Like your parents they're already onto you.
Yeah.
They're onto all your tricks. And then you get the grandparents who love you and they want to do everything for you. So you can run that whole game on it's a do-over.
Yeah. You got a whole new audience to pull it on.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you
Yeah.
were doing it worked well for a while anyway.
Dude,
They let you have a cat?
Yeah.
Those are super enablers.
Dude, he just kept filling the fridge.
Yeah.
Just kept filling it. Go to Costco and get
Oh,
cases of beer, and then the fridge would be full.
Love Costco. That's the thing. You know, when you get older, Costco becomes like the mecca you have to go to at least like once a week.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't go today. I was wanting to go, and I feel like I've avoided my life now that I'm old.
It's got you. You're hooked.
My grandpa was super traditional too. Like no smoking, definitely no drugs, and I would literally be like, this was in San Key on like the 14th floor, and I would have my body halfway out the window smoking cigs in the morning just to wake up.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what does it take for the grandparents? I mean, that's got to be an interesting bottom. Like they're like, oh well, we can't deal with them anymore. When did they call in the heavy hitters to get you some help, or did you make that decision on your own? Because this is close to your bottom, right?
Yeah, we kind of skipped a lot, but now we're at my bottom. We can go back.
Go ahead.
I want you to tell it
Whatever you
however
want.
you remember it.
Yeah.
So
us.
the big thing that happened is my dad died up in Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
So, it talks about it in the book. There's the man in the slippers that, doesn't drink and then goes into retirement and then he's dead
Right.
in 4 years. Well, my dad was an alcoholic that was always like a problem drinker. And my mom decided that, she was going to leave my dad right before I went to college. I think like it was a week before I left for college.
Okay.
And they got divorced, and then my dad was out of the house, and then he was dead, and in 4 years,
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Right when you graduated.
right when I graduated. So I went up to Georgia. We were cleaning the whole apartment. I'm like boots on the ground, like hazmat suit type shit, cleaning up everything, and
Oh, geez.
Because his apartment was a wreck.
yeah,
Did he pass away in there? Is that why?
yeah.
Oh.
But like the thing is he died an alcoholic death, so like the
Paramedics.
bathroom was really
Oh.
bad, the bed
Yeah.
was really bad, and like it was just bad. It was like kind of scarring. But the crazy thing is that his big book was on the floor during all that.
Really?
And I was looking at it and I was like, I'm gonna read this to understand what my dad's problem was. And
Wow.
then I was in rehab a week later.
Wow.
I'm so glad that we went back to that, Connor, because it's such a huge part of. I don't know. I'm just glad. Thanks for sharing that. Sorry, by the way.
Oh no, it's all good.
Did you go on a binge? Did you go on like a week bender that before you went to rehab, or did you read the book and and that made you decide to go to rehab, or
Well-
did the cops make you? How'd you get to rehab?
So it wasn't like a binge, but it was like we went up for the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were like, it was weird because we were drinking,
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of weird. But then, whatever. I'm not one to judge. I was fucked up. And then I came back home and I was like going through this like crisis moment, and then that's when like I called the cops on myself and was like I thought my heart was gonna like explode. Like it was weird. I think they called it a panic attack, but the thing is it like clamped up and got like super tight, and then I was like, I'm fucking dying.
How was the relationship with your dad?
It was good for like the first half of my life, I would say, like when I was a kid. But
Right,
then
like fishing and sports and all that stuff. And I mean,
Yeah.
your dad was available.
yeah, he was available. But then he like started like drinking more and not progressing at work, getting laid off.
I gotcha.
Typical like alcoholic things. And I'm not trying to come on here on a podcast to bash my dad. It's just
No,
like,
no. I
this
wouldn't
is
want-
the story.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Sounds like you had he helped you in your recovery. From
Yeah.
what I'm gathering, it sounds like he was a real catalyst in your getting sober. So I think it's a cool legacy.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is like my buddy says that everyone's a teacher, right? Good or bad,
Right.
And growing up, like life was just like kind of like different and weird. And after going to rehab and realizing that I could have like a better life, it really started to click for me then that I was like, yeah, I don't want that to be my life, because drinking's so normalized. You know what
Sure.
I mean? And
Oh,
even
yeah.
when it becomes a problem, it's still normalized, and then problems become normalized. And I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to live, a problem life.
Yeah.
So
No, it sounds like you were somewhat inspired actually by this train of events.
yeah.
To motivate, and it's great. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's probably the number one motivator for me.
cool.
Like, I mean, of course, like I, hope to die alcoholic, but big motivator.
it's
My dad.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. How long were you in the rehab? 30 days?
I was in there for 30, and they were like, "Hey, you actually need to be in here for 2 months." My mom was on the phone, and she was like, "We'll do whatever you ask." And I was just like, come on.
To you, or she said that to the
She's
rehab
like,
place?
we were on the speakerphone with the therapist.
Oh, okay.
And my mom was like, whatever you guys want, whatever you need. And I was just like, man,
Can I get out of here?
for real, I think I'm ready. But no, that extra month really helped.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have stayed sober after 30 days. I think I really had it all figured out at 30 days.
So that second 30 days, what did you do that you think it really locked in?
Nothing, man. Just waited in there, you know.
So how long were you in treatment?
60
60
days.
days.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's a good drying out point. And then what did you do? Go to college after that or something?
No, I graduated college.
Okay, I got you.
You went back to your grandparents?
No, I wanted to, and then I went to sober living.
Okay.
Everyone was telling me to go to sober living. I brought it up in group a couple times, like, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to my grandparents, and people had to like set it for me. They were like, dude, there's nothing there for you, and we don't even know you,
Right.
you know.
So how long were you in a therapeutic environment, let's call it, past the 60 days? So if you went into sober living, you're also living with rules.
Yeah, that was 2 extra years.
Okay, so that's the your
2 years?
2
Yeah.
years.
Wow.
Yeah,
those are with rules.
yeah,
I
So
mean,
you got to know those rules real well.
yeah. There was a guy. His name is Mike. He'd be like, Connor, why the fuck is your room all dirty? You gotta make your fucking bed. Your roommate's cleaning up after you. What the fuck? And I was just like, man, I'll get there in like 30 minutes, dude. Be all right.
So were
I'll be
you
there.
working while you were living there? Do you have to get a job or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a job pretty quick. Worked at a sushi restaurant.
sweet.
Honest money.
Yeah.
Making good money actually for sober living. But like I was pouring drinks.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
like, you know, when I first started working there, a couple of the girls were like, "Don't pour any of your drinks. We'll do it for you. We got it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool." And then it got busy.
What kind of work?
Right.
Were you a waiter?
Right.
Yeah, I was a waiter.
Okay.
Yeah, I could actually walk to work if I wanted to.
Hey, the restaurant business is always a good starting point for a lot of people.
Yeah,
You know, they're always looking for somebody. Man, if you're a warm body that shows up, man, you're getting. They're like, thank God somebody showed up.
yeah,
I was in that business during most of my drinking days, and my early sobriety was all in the food business. So it's tough stuff, but it's very, very much available. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's like you can get a job I can go anywhere and get a job like no problem because of my background. You know.
As a chef and in the restaurant.
Yeah,
industry.
just that business is always available. They're always looking for somebody that'll show up.
it's actually funny. I tried to apply to like a 5-star restaurant after getting a degree and working as a server for 2 years at the sushi restaurant, and I applied for a service assistant job at I don't know if I can say it on the air, but like a 5-star restaurant in downtown Tampa, and just to bust tables.
Right.
And I got denied and told my experience wasn't enough.
Jeez.
And I was like, seriously? I got a degree.
That's that 5th star. You know what I mean? 4-star restaurant would have taken you right away.
Right.
5 stars, they want a little more experience. They want, they want maitre d's busting the table.
Exactly.
It's okay. I probably know who you're talking about. Actually.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
So while you were in sober living, did you start going to meetings? I'm sure maybe they had meetings there, or did you? And you're younger at this point, right? You're our youngest guest we've had on. So this is only a couple of years ago. What were you, 22, 23 years old when you went into sober living?
I was 22.
22. Okay.
Yeah, I actually I feel like I've missed like a big part of why I got sober. If I can take
Go ahead.
2 minutes and
No, it's your story,
No,
brother.
go ahead.
yeah, no. So I started getting really big into psychedelics when I was in college, and I would take them a lot. Like I started taking them probably like every 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And it just became like so fun, and I was like, I love this. This is the most fun thing I've ever done. And And very quickly, I found myself like running around downtown Tampa with like only running shorts on, no shoes, no shirt, no wallet, no phone, nothing. And went to a gas station, told the guy I was dying, told him my name, my phone number, my social, my email. I think like it was crazy. And but I was like completely whacked out. And then I didn't get arrested, but I got like detained or whatever by the hospital and like the paramedics on campus, and they sent out a text the next day saying, hey, there was an incident that happened on campus, don't worry, everything is fine, like addressing I think there was 6 police cars and even a helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah, because my phone call was so alarming. And then woke up the next day in the hospital, like handcuffed to the gurney or the hospital bed.
Yeah.
Handcuffed. And
Jeez.
they were like, oh yeah, you're good to go. And I was like, cool. You know, that probably happens to a lot of college kids, you know.
No, that's savage. That's so great.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in college, you know. It's just a fluke. Just a fluke. And
Yeah.
then that was June of 2020, COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to been.
Couple months after.
And then same exact thing happened on acid in October, and then acid again in January.
You running around in just shorts, running around Tampa.
Think I had clothes on this second couple of times.
But you would just bug out.
I would bug out, call the cops, I'm dying. Yeah. And then because my mom knew that I was like, I don't know, this like ambulance chaser or whatever, like I would just I'd start calling. I called her. I'd be like, Mom, it's happening again. I took too many drugs. She'd be like, all right, well, just stay calm. We're coming from Clearwater. Be calm. And then I would just call the cops.
on yourself.
Yeah. And then this last 2 times, my mom had to be like, no, we're going to take him to Morton Plant. Don't worry. We've got it from here. Paramedics would just let them take me. And, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. That was like, I don't know. That was like the closest thing I had to overdoses. But
so you what kind of dosing were you doing when you? I mean, one is usually enough, but it sounds like you might have taken them a couple. Extra.
Yeah, I was doing like 5 hits.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at 3 you're still laughing a lot. You know what I mean? And your clothes
Yeah.
are still on.
Yeah. 5, your head's like somewhere else.
Yeah, you're naked and there's helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I would read on Reddit like during this time in my life where I would be like, well, why are psychedelics so dangerous? And people would be like, well, it's just the things that people do on psychedelics. It's not the drugs themselves. And I'd be like, well, I'm not going to jump off a building. I'm good. But then before I know it, I'm naked in a hospital room.
Yeah, I think it's great that you were handcuffed to a hospital bed. Like waking up like that is so important to the whole recovery.
What, my sobriety?
The whole recovery journey.
Yeah.
If you have that in the back of your mind and you can remember it, it's so critical to sobriety, I think. Not that you should, anybody that's listening out there, that you need to go to get sober, that you have to go get chained to a hospital bed, but it certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It
helped.
Yeah.
I think it helped. Well, like I also kind of related to like in Bill's story, like, he just can't fix his life.
Right.
And I was drinking alcoholically for sure. But like in the book, it would talk about having these like crisis moments and these like crazy binges and relapses. And like, that's what would happen to me. For some reason, for me, it was psychedelics. And
Yeah.
I would just, and my buddies from the Friday night meeting,
Right.
they joke with me and they're like, well, you just couldn't handle your drugs.
Sure.
And I'm like, all right, guys, I get it. I'm not like you guys, but I had enough.
Dude, you were a first ballot Hall of Famer. I have to commit. I'll give you that. That's a great story.
5 hits. I mean, they're doing that. So
Yeah, you were messing around. You were microwaving this journey. You wanted to get here quickly.
Yeah, I was doing everything in my power to get to AA.
Yeah. You scanned this, you surveyed the scope and the landscape of the world and said, AA is where I need to be. And
Yeah.
let's hurry things up.
I had an intervention too.
Wow.
After January, got back from the hospital, and then my mom, my grandparents. I don't think my brother was there, but definitely my mom, my grandparents. And they sat me down, and they were like, "We're gonna pull you out of school. You need a change. You're gonna go to like a camp or a rehab." And I was like, "I'm on my last semester of college. It's how can you expect me to do that? You know, think about all the money you're gonna lose if you take this route." And just such a junkie. And I had my friends chaperone me for the next like 7 months doing drugs and drinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean chaperone? Driving you around?
Not driving me around, just taking my phone kind of thing.
So you were still partying, but he was making sure you weren't calling the cops.
Yeah, they would just like make sure that I was not going to call the cops.
Right.
And I would always make sure I had friends around to party with, because I know when I decided to do 5 hits on my couch at midnight, it doesn't go well.
No.
So, those three crisis moments and then an intervention honestly did nothing to get me sober. Like it helped for sure, but it didn't change my mind at all.
So what did?
Yeah. Do tell.
It's having like really alcoholic health problems. Not like some, but I went to go see a gastro one time, and he asked me straight up. He was like, "How often are you drinking? How often are you smoking weed?" I gave him the typical alcoholic answer, and he was like, and then he was like, "That's way too much." It's like,
Wow.
okay, all right, 3 drinks a day is too much. Well, my 7 to 8 is definitely more than enough. And so I was like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a doctor.
But if you went to a gastro at your age, you obviously had a symptom show up that said, "Hey, go see the gastro guy." Because I had some symptoms come up with me where I was leaking blood. And
I wasn't leaking blood like that.
Right. So, but I mean, it must have been something. I mean, you just don't go to a gastro at 23 unless somebody's, there's got to be a reason. And it's personal.
Nothing,
you don't have to share.
No. It's just nothing that I think like really is on paper. Like,
okay.
My liver was probably just like super inflamed,
Right.
and I was having crazy stomach problems, and the weed wasn't helping either.
Right. So during this period of time in your life, I mean, I identify with it. There was a lot of like blackout type situations where I just got bits and pieces of it, and then people were kind of watching out for me because they were there and maybe not blacking out.
Yeah.
Like when they're calling the cops and all those things, it's interesting who we get to be our saviors, or people that want to help us, but really they're getting in the way of our bottom. It's not like somebody got in the way of your bottom. You needed to hit that bottom, and you did eventually, but that guy helping you out with your phone and what did you call him? Your
Chaperone.
Your chaperone. He wasn't doing you any favors.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So we asked you what it was that finally decided for you to decide. So you're at the gastro, you're at the doctor, and something he said decided finally flipped the switch?
That was all like early. That was like before I really like flipped the switch of like becoming an alcoholic. Like that was early onset, and then I kind of just drank through it. But what really got me sober was the 4th time that I called the cops on myself in a year, and it was that moment I explained when I was coming back from Atlanta from the funeral, and felt like I was having an actual heart attack, and then I called the cops on myself again, and then I went to the hospital, and then it was game over for me. My mom was there. She was crying. She was like, "You need to go to rehab." I was like, well, let's do the Baker Act thing first. And then eventually, once I got into the Baker Act facility, they started really talking sense into my mom, right? That like, kind of like, you know, taken the defenses down for like all the enablement, and they told her, they were like, he might die if you don't put him in rehab. So once I got to the hospital, it was game over. I could have walked out. I could have hitched a ride up somewhere, but it was game over. If I wanted to like not be cut off from my family, then that was the choice I was given, and I was white knuckling that every day for like 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Did you run into some, did you have some early influences when you went into rehab that really helped shape? Because I know that I was like, you know, street smart kind of kid, whatever, had done a lot of weird stuff, but this wasn't the crowd that I was used to hanging with at all. And then eventually I ran into some people that kind of shaped and molded me in the right direction a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Tall Tyler, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, because I was...
Kindergarten convict?
Yeah, the kindergarten convict. My good friend, if he's listening, really helped me out. We were just getting sober together, you know?
Cool.
And, here I am thinking that my life is over. This guy's already done 9 years, in prison in his 20s. And basically just fast forward his 20s and was just kind of telling me that, like, there's a better life out there. I should really, really try to, get this thing. And there was a lot of other people too, but the thing is, I think he's really probably the only person that's still around. There's a few, but no one that was really as influential as him looking back on it. There was some good therapists too.
Cool.
My sponsor, a couple of the guys at Friday night.
Did you meet him at Sober Living, or did you meet him where'd you meet him at?
No, I met the guy I'm talking about in rehab. Like, we pick up a chip at the Friday night meeting. The same
Tall
week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. And, he definitely didn't, he definitely made it known that he was hard. He came in hard. He's all nice now.
Right.
But he came into rehab hard, and I was kind of scared of him. But, like
right out of prison.
good guy,
Well, he
Super
probably
nice.
had to defend himself. Good God. I mean, the poor guy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he helped a ton. Like, in the moment, I didn't really realize it. And then looking back on it, yeah.
he has been a pure joy sponsoring him. It's a great story to be able to witness it. And I'm glad he's your buddy too, that you guys get to hang out. And there's Ryan, his other buddy. There's a lot of great guys at the Friday night.
A lot of guys.
Yeah.
A lot of guys.
It's a lot of testosterone for the young guys too, especially when you're that age and you got to find out, like, what am I going to do for fun? Like, that was my fun,
Yeah.
and to find all these other things that you can do with your life, man, is so cool.
Yeah, dude. Sober living was a treat too, because I went to Real.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, rehab was hard, right? Like, not hard as in physically or mentally challenging, but very, like, accountability was huge, right?
Yep.
I remember that time at the rehab I went to, which you probably know where I went. There was accountability meetings, and if you were laughing or you weren't taking it seriously, it was so quickly, pack your shit, meet me downstairs.
Yeah.
They'd be like, well, the meeting's not over yet. I don't care. Pack your shit. And then the therapist would actually see if they were going to go pack their bags or not. And then they'd get there and be like, well, I told you to go pack your bags. Why are you here without your bags? I'm like, oh, man, well, I want to stay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So funny, dude. But then I got to Sober Living, and it was the same kind of vibe, right? Like, just very, like, structured. Very hard, but like with love at the same time.
You need it though. You need to have like structure. I don't even know how. I lived in such a recovery environment for so long that when I finally got free, the good thing was I still followed some of those principles, like my daily routine. I kind of kept up with them.
Like making your bed?
No. I never made my
That's
bed.
the first one,
I know.
dude.
I hated that shit.
Yeah.
No thanks. I was okay. Actually, I wasn't. I'm still not very clean and organized, but I try to be. It bothers me, even if I'm not. I mean, it does. I feel bad about it, but I don't make it. I mean, I don't know, but I think that there's a lot more to it than that. I think that there's the meetings and the recovery based things that you need to do on a regular basis, and the programs type stuff, and sponsoring people and working the steps. Those things, everyone in there kind of like gets on that direction, and it's and you feel like if you're not doing it, then you're not participating. There's a little bit of there's a lot of pressure that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, so I sponsor a few guys now.
Cool.
And sometimes they'll come back to me and they'll ask me, they'll be like, "Hey, why are we still in the first step? Johnny Two Shoes over there, is on step 7 and he's got 3 weeks." And I'll be like, "Well, that's not what this is about, bro. You gotta just be patient.
Nice.
I'm not trying to gatekeep you from, a relationship with God, but this kind of stuff takes time, and we're not going to go through it in one day."
Being one of the younger guys, were you one of the younger guys at Sober Living? I wonder what the challenges are. Or
there was a couple guys
being 22, 23, and
Well, there was a lot of guys that didn't go to college, and then they were experiencing consequences a lot faster than me, and not going to college kind of amplified those consequences in like the eyes of their parents. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of guys that were younger than me that weren't ready to get sober, and there was probably 2 that are still sober today that were younger than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
One guy got sober at 19, and the other guy got sober at 21.
And you're still in touch with these guys?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Still in touch
Nice.
with them.
So you have a clique of younger guys, because the meetings I go to, except for that Friday night meeting, the other ones I go to the majority seem to be like people 35 and up, people that are midlife or whatever like that. I'm just wondering what it's like to be a younger guy getting sober. Like, what were some of your worries? Did you think about, I'll never go to parties anymore, or what do you think there was going to be? Did you think you weren't going to have a life? Did you think that, oh my God, getting sober is going to, I'm going to miss out on stuff because I'm still young? And did you have any of that kind of stuff going through your head, or you were just like, I'm done?
That was when I was in detox for sure. Like when I was in the, what's it called, behavioral facility.
Crisis center. That's a crisis center, then.
Well, it was a psych ward.
Yeah, crisis psych.
Yeah.
Nut house. It's the Laughing Academy for people they're really worried about their mental well-being.
That's when you know it's really rock bottom. When you're the only, like, when they're all sober, but when you're really the only sober-minded person in the psych ward, it's like, am I here on accident, or am I in the perfect spot? Because it kind of feels like an accident, but somehow I'm here.
Yeah.
I was there for 8 days.
I think, I spent some time. Did you wake up with, did they give you the foam sneakers with the smiley faces on them?
No sneakers, just socks.
Yeah, they have the smiley faces, though.
Well, they had like grippy pads on
Yeah.
the bottom. My buddy and I would go out and play basketball on like the concrete basketball court
In the socks?
in the socks, and come back wet, muddy, ripped, and we would just go through socks every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I should have kept mine. Those were,
I think I did for a while.
they're priceless.
And then I realized, I was like, this is just wasting space.
Those are hard to find out in the regular general population.
You sure? I think they sell them at Walmart.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'll have to get a pair.
They're for old people.
They
They're
are.
not for
The
crackheads.
hospitals, right? The hospitals give them to you, and those kind of places.
I might have to give those out.
So 2 years in the sober living. So tell us about getting out. What happened when
Sober
you got out?
living?
Yep. When you got out, you're out in the real world. Connor hits the real world. He's
Well-
2 years he's 2 years in sober living. Your family's got to be thrilled for you. Had your dad had already passed.
Dad passed before I got to rehab.
Right, before you get
Yeah.
to rehab. So tell us about, unless there's other stories you want to tell us about being in rehab, I was going to say, what was it like when you came out?
I want to know about the grandparents at the intervention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Dude, they were clueless. Dude, they were glazed over. Like it was my mom was driving the boat, and they were sitting in the back.
right.
It wasn't like they didn't.
No.
Really, they were like, "We love you. We want you to be healthy."
Nothing like
that was about it.
This psychedelic fur
Well, dude,
bedspread.
that was before the intervention was like 6 months before I moved in with them.
Oh wow.
And then I moved in with the cat and the crazy ass decorations and comforter and just gaming all day, drinking beer, not
The
getting a
fridge full of
job.
beer.
Sweet.
So they had a warning, and then that happened.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I like them though. I like your.
they're
grand-
good people.
they had
They're
your
good
back.
people.
They seem. Are you going to spend Christmas with them?
No, they passed, unfortunately.
Oh, dude, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get out of sober living.
Well, I wanted to rewind a little bit because
Go ahead.
I spent 2 years in sober living, right? And it was a really good place to like really rebuild, right? I didn't really feel like I was in sober living. I had a lot of fun. It was actually more fun than when I moved out of sober living. And it was just a good time to rebuild my life. Like, it's actually crazy. Our mutual friend offered me a job. You know who I'm talking about, right?
You can say his name.
Jerry offered me a job.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then
While in sober living?
yeah, so I got the job in sober living and was working at the job for 2 months. And then I finally got a place with a buddy. But like before that, I was worried about like what I was going to become as like this young guy with a degree, which, we're learning today. Like if you just have a degree and nothing else, ain't much. But I was trying to get a job, and I was going to these like sales conferences and trying to get jobs at like pharma companies and tech companies, and just not really being qualified for anything. And I would wear suits and I would dress up, and I was meeting with career coaches and mentors, waiting tables at the sushi restaurant, getting fit. I was really like doing a lot in sober living to like become a man. And the thing is, it was a lot of hard work, and it kind of just clicked after 2 years, right? Yeah, but I think a lot of young guys today unfortunately, I think a lot of young guys today are very entitled, including myself, but like I kind of had to grow out of that, getting sober. I think a lot of people that get out of college think that, degrees and jobs. Well, degrees are owed, but jobs aren't. And the job market today is terrible. And I really, really underestimated what it took to get a good job when I was getting out of college. But the thing is my friend told me, my mentor, I guess, told me that when I was looking for a job, he said, when I got the job at my last company, he said, well, great, even though this is kind of a shoo-in, you're still prepared for it. Like you've been through the interview questions, you know how to make a resume, a damn good resume, and all these things. And when it came time for the interview, they were just going to give me the job. And I was like, wait, what about don't you guys want to know like how good of a candidate I am and that kind of thing. So in sober living, like I really learned how to like become a young adult, and that was something that I would have never gotten if I was, back to my grandparents' place or like, sleeping on the couch or just not taking it seriously.
Call of Duty all day.
Yeah, just gaming.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what I would have done.
Why
you know?
not? Too bad you couldn't make a living at it.
No, dude.
Some people can, but
I'm good on the sticks, but not like that.
I got you.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about sober living, and then we're getting
We
out
talked
of
about
sober
getting out
living.
of sober living. Yeah. What was life like after that? What was your move?
Well, I got the job, my last company, and my roommate at the time was an accountant, and we had enough money to get a place.
Did you meet him at sober living or in a program or in a meeting?
In the program.
Yeah.
At the Friday night meeting.
Okay.
And yeah, got a place. So we're by the Air Force Base in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And,
you're still together, right? Same roommate?
No, well, our lease ends in 2 months.
Okay.
And then roommate actually started a family and moved out. And yeah.
That's great.
Paying some rent, you know?
Right.
I'm living there. Got this big house for just me. But he was at the house for probably like a year and a half, maybe longer. And honestly, when we moved into the house, it was kind of concerning. Like, you know, you get all this freedom now, and you don't really know what to do with it. So, like, I remember my roommate started talking to his ex-girlfriend again, and then got all, like, bent up about, like, how the ex-girlfriend was talking to him, and apparently it was, like, this on and off thing, and, you know, I don't know what I was doing wrong, but, like, it just felt weird to, to be, like, out of sober living. You know, if I don't make my bed or clean my room, no one's going to be, like, beating down the door, you know, for no reason. You know, my bed can just be dirty. My house can just be dirty. I don't have to clean the bathroom. I don't have to mop. I don't have to go to meetings if I don't want to, you know. I could just go to a meeting a week, you know, no meetings. Call it a day. Like, no one's on my back.
Well, that's the freedom that sobriety brings, is you can do whatever you want, and it's the people that choose to go to meetings, the meeting makers make it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you chose to keep your life on the straight and narrow, and now I know that you're a good influence on some of the younger guys that you run into. That you're having a good chance to, you know, you said you were driving a carload of guys to meetings, and
dude, there were so many cigarette burns in that car by the time I got out of sober living, because I sold the car because I got a company car at the new job. So that car, I got the car in April of 2021. I got the car, and then went to sober living in November of 21, and you know, by the time that I sold that car in November of 23, there were cigarette burns everywhere. There was like 50,000 miles on it, maybe even more, probably more like 60,000 in 2 years. Like, I was just driving everywhere, driving guys places. I would drive people to their jobs and then go pick them up from their jobs when they didn't have cars.
talk about being of service. That's fantastic.
It was cool. I really did whatever was asked of me, you know. And if a new guy needed help, I would stick my hand out and I would help, and I would drive people, and I would do all these things for free.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. You know, when you're of service in this program, it helps you with your sobriety. You're not just helping them, you're helping yourself, as we know. And so I think it's real admirable that you did that, and that you're taking on sponsees. That's fantastic. You know, I'm sure you go to at least one meeting that I know of a week. You probably go to more. I know you're still a fitness guy.
Yeah.
So it's really, you know, it got you on the straight and narrow. It made your life better. And when you got out, you decided to keep it that way, even though you have the freedom not to, right?
Well, I think I'd just be completely screwed if I wasn't going to meetings.
No doubt.
I would be ping-ponging around in my head all day, you know. I'd be drunk without it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know.
Not,
I know.
not even if I'm drinking, just like, just the fog. Like
Right.
I'd probably be
That
I'd probably be
alcoholic
so in
mind
my head
state.
I'd be in a gas station for 30 minutes and not realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, but what you're doing
At
right
least you'd be
now
clothed.
is
You'd have your clothes on.
Yeah, at least.
it's such a critical part of the building blocks of sobriety. I mean, like, you're just kind of sculpting the person you want to be, but doing all this other stuff, sometimes you don't know why. Or, I mean, you just take suggestions and other people tell you what to do, and you just keep doing it. And sometimes you're just kind of like, it seems like you don't know where to go, where the road is going. But eventually it just kind of becomes more apparent to you that this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is the path. Like, I don't know what God's will is 100%. It just seems like when I do these things, this other good stuff keeps happening. I know that you've been progressing in your life as far as career goes and the college. I mean, you finish these things, but your trajectory is this, it's going straight up, from a pretty low bottom. I mean, we're talking about being handcuffed to a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Okay. To these other problems you have now. Like, I mean, real, like, just life, everyday, normal guy problems, and you're trying to figure things out as a young man, trying to find your place in the world, trying to find a career, and you're gaining such momentum. And I personally, I've been watching it, because I kind of spy on people, and I get to kind of dip in once in a while and see what's going on because I'm old now. But your story is great, and whether you know it or not, your trajectory is definitely going like this. And just have, enjoy the ride, man. I mean, that's the beauty. I mean, you got so many more challenges. Maybe you become a father, you get married, and all this other, like your roommate, sounds like he dipped out on you, but whatever, but that's fine. That's
It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, hey, man, that God bless them. You know what I mean? We used to throw rice on people at the recovery centers when they like goat yoga dentists. Hey, congratulations, they're getting married. You know what I mean? Like, but all those things are just part of the whole journey, man. And it's like, and you get to remember it. And that's the beauty of it. And you're now an example for other young people. Like, you are such an important part of like this generational divide, that there needs to be a new blood, that can carry it on, and it's great to see, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I really try to keep like my pride at bay, but it does feel really good, like helping new guys.
Sure.
Too, because, that, like, let's say like a 20-year-old walks in, right? He could get a sponsor. He could listen to a sponsor, do whatever a sponsor says, right? But, if that new guy doesn't see any young people that are doing the same thing and leading by example, then, that guy's probably just going to think pretty fast that, this program's for old people.
Well, the young people, yeah, and I had, like, when I came in, dude, it was all old people, and we were ashtrays everywhere, and it was kind of fucked up. But I did gravitate. There was a young people's group called the Freaky Paw, whatever it was, and I remember going to, like, being early in recovery and going to this, like, this conference for young people, and they had a toga party, and it was like, what? I mean, it was like the movie Animal House where they wore togas and stuff, but everybody was walking around sober in this toga party, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, life was not over. I was still going to be able to have fun, and, and I was single, and I was trying to meet girls, and, God, AA isn't always like the greatest place to meet girls, but whatever, it happens.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, and that's where I think it's so important that the young people represent.
Dude, I mean, I've got stories like that for days where I was a sober guy in a drunk environment with my buddies and just living life. Like, my buddies and I would go to metal shows, right? Like mosh pits. I've met girls at bars. Just doing fun ass shit sober. And that's why when Greg was asking me about, like, tell us about the time when you got out of sober living, I was like, I really don't want to skip, my time in sober living, because I was I was like doing more fun things in sober living than I am today. Now I feel like I'm like washed, like I'm an adult, you know, and I don't do as many fun things. But when I was in sober living, it was like I was basically at a frat house. There was 21 beds. No, 22 beds in the main house, and most of them were young guys, and we were just doing a lot of fun stuff. But really, like looking back on it, a lot of it wasn't like I was probably doing like, you know, more fun things in college, but feeling worse.
Yeah.
Right. And then the thing is, when you get sober, you really feel like you're on top of the world, but like you're not really doing all that much fun stuff. Right. But I was still going to concerts and bars and talking to people and, you know, meeting girls, and there was really nothing holding me back. Life was just more chill.
Well, you're a career man now.
Oh, there's still
I'm a career
nothing
man.
holding
You're
me
a
back.
career man. You're building a career. You're laying different building blocks. That's
Right.
all. But you can still do all that shit.
Yeah.
That's what the weekends are for.
Yeah,
apparently.
didn't you just went and hiked the mountains up in Canada,
Adirondacks.
The Adirondacks.
Oh, well.
I'm trying
mean-
to go to the Rockies soon, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. Gotta take some PTO. But yeah, I was gonna talk about that. So remember when I said that I broke my ankle and I felt like I was different and my
Yeah.
life was over? Well, I got sober, and when I was in rehab, a lot of that nerve pain started going away. Almost like it was just flushing out with the alcohol. And I started to notice that like a lot of it was probably just weakness that was like inflamed from all the booze. And so my pain started becoming less and less and less. And I started to become like more healthy and started going to the gym and committing to the gym and running. And then, you know, that compounded so much where I really became like addicted to the gym. That was like my vice when I was in sober living. I would be going to the gym 3 times a day. I'd be going to the gym on my lunch break at the sushi restaurant. If I was working a double, I'd go like hit abs for 30 minutes at the gym. And like none of it really made sense. But last year I did an Ironman. I've told you about that, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, we at dinner. Yeah, that was cool.
So like I, you know, put my mind to a goal and I did it and did pretty well. But like it's crazy to think back on when I was getting sober that I still felt, you know, like I was still different then, that my running career was, you know, in the drain and I had all this pain, you know, and then I did an Ironman in 3 years of sobriety. And it's just like, this is wild. You know, if I can come back from that, then, you know, anything's possible. So now I train for Ironman pretty hard. And, I like to go hiking and, you know, I eat a clean diet and I really kind of like, I just try to live my life, I'll try to live my life differently today, but not to be different. Just because, you know, living a healthy life today makes me feel good. And it's not for any kind of like status symbol. It's just because like sobriety's been such a game changer in my life that I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to be sober, then I'm going to do it right and
Right.
train as hard as I can. So
You're blessed with that, because I can tell you, doing healthy things has never been my forte until I have a situation where it dictates that I change a behavior. And now I ran out of bad behaviors. Now I'm forced to live a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I'm liking it, but I had to run out of all the bad decisions.
yeah, kind of like getting to the Baker Act facility.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, here now.
Did that. Now I'll do the next. Now I can go do something. I have to eliminate that from my bad stuff and add another good behavior.
Yeah.
I'm out of bad behaviors, just about. Except
Nice.
for maybe interrupting Greg once in a while. Go ahead, Greg. I know you want to fire.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You guys have more questions? I feel like I've been, I don't know.
Dude,
Pulling the
you've
reins.
nailed it.
Dude, you're killing it. In fact, we're coming up on an hour. So I was going to
For
say,
real?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Wow.
if there's something that you want to say that you haven't said, now is the time. If there's a, because I'm going to go into the show slow roll ending where I will kick it to you to say a final point. But if there's another story you want to tell before you get to a final point, now's the time. I mean, you've been great.
Yeah. Probably the big thing is like, you can really achieve anything you want in sobriety, but the thing is that's also a promise, right? Like, sobriety is going to give you this amazing life. You can do whatever you want. Your life is going to be so full. And sure, if you work hard,
Yeah.
but if you're just a fucking slouch, you ain't doing nothing.
Then you ain't doing nothing.
And after work, you're watching a whole season of Better Call Saul on Netflix. You wake up the next day at get 5 hours of sleep, and it's like, I'm free. What's it called? Like living life free and sober today, but you're miserable. Like that's
You're not
fucking
taking
that's
advantage of your
bullshit.
sobriety. You're
better
still
off-
living
Better off
whack.
drunk. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're really not like taking sobriety by the reins, then it's not even worth it, in my opinion.
I love it.
Nice. Well, listen, if you're having a tough time quitting, whatever it is you need to quit, you're not alone. There's apps and numbers and groups in your town, or you can call us if you want. 813-625-2532. Hit us up on Facebook. Taking that first step into a room or a chat or a group with people trying to get better just like you will be the best day of your life. Connor, do you have a final point you'd like to say on tonight's show? Something that you'd like to sign off with before we sign off on the show?
I don't know. That last point was pretty.
It was pretty good.
It's pretty
direct.
tight. Yeah,
All right,
it's
that
good.
is good.
Yeah.
We can end on that.
All right, we're gonna give Connor the kid who's here on Christmas. That's going to be his final. Now, Primo, as we do every week, what's your final point? What's Primo's final point on tonight's show?
The point gets sharper, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
You're getting
I
better.
have to work at it.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
thinking about it ever since you were doing the pre-roll.
The pre-roll.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
You know what?
Thinking about it
Then
all
you kicked
day?
it to him. No, in just
No,
like
you-
3 minutes, I've been thinking about what I have to say at the end of this. After I summarize this whole event,
Yes. His wisdom, his aged
Wait,
wisdom.
Wait,
Just-
Chris, how long you been sober?
33 years.
And you still can't listen because you're thinking about your own.
Yeah, I can't, dude. I can't. Action, baby, action. The point
The
of
point of tonight's show, the Christmas show.
the Christmas. First of all, Merry Christmas
Merry
to everybody
Christmas.
again, and
Yes.
try not to be a pain in the ass to all your family, like Connor used to be.
Oh yeah.
But the action is a point well taken for this guest, and when he said if you're going to sit around binge watching Netflix, or you're going to get out and do something with your life, it's so important that people realize, like, look, you got a chance here, you got a second chance. Yeah, you can have this great life, but it's action. You know what I mean? God doesn't have any hands or legs, so if something catches on fire, you're going to have to carry the buckets up the hill. You know what I mean? To put the water on the fire, and it's like, thank God I learned that lesson. That I had to go and do the work. If I want the results, I got to do the work. But and I can see, I love the fact that you're doing these Iron Men and helping you guys, and those things are building blocks for a great adventurous life. Because you're building relationships. It's just what it takes.
Yep.
And because if you came into this deal just to get sober, you're missing it, man. You're missing the whole thing. There's
It's not about that.
no. So that's such a small part of what was wrong with me was such a small part was the fact that I was abusing these things. There were so many more things that I had to clean up. And once I started getting those things, I got momentum, and I've had a great life. And I still got some more good living to do, which is why we got to get off this show so I can start going to do some more of that good living.
Nice. Well, listen, thanks for listening to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. Worry, anxiety, and fear is all up in here. Give yourself a break. You're enough, and you're doing great. I'm Stoff, and he's Primo. And remember,
No drinks today.
We're all in the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! After all that, shenanigans! Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
What's all this?
Officer Barbrady, I would like to reinstate my previous shenanigans. This whole carnival is a ripoff.
You know, excuse me, but I agree. These rides are really stupid. Chamber of Farts isn't scary at all. Okay, let's calm down. People of South Park, do you declare shenanigans on the carnival people?
Yeah!
Okay, carnival people, do you accept this decree of shenanigans?
What the hell are you talking about? This whole town is screwy.
Well, that settles it. Everybody grab a broom. It's shenanigans!